You don't go.
Ready? This is a SP81 with a 1010 crankcase and a SP81 head, a 610 crankshaft and connecting rod with the SP81 piston. And what we did, we JB welded the crank journal for the clutch side on the SP81's head so it would fit the 1010 bearing. So when we did that, I had to make sure that it was a tight clearance, no leaks, and we made sure of all that. Made sure everything was aligned up. The crankshaft is perfectly centered, and all we did is we just pushed JB weld into here, into the head, so right into there, and then, assuming this is the head, we pushed JB weld into there, and then we took the 1010 crankcase with the bearing. I tapped the bearing in, and then I set it on top.
Can't see
and oh,
from that side.
Yep. I set it on top, and we screwed this together. When we screwed this together, it clamped that JB weld tight. Then I let it harden for a couple of hours. Came back to it and took this off. The bearing was left in the JB weld, and all I had to do was take a screwdriver and pry up on it, and it left the JB weld behind. That's how we did it. We also used Permatex to seal every bit of this on the crankcase. And
where's the 1010 crankcase?
this is the 1010.
No,
crankcase.
the 1010 crankcase we used.
Oh, right there. Right there.
Oil reservoir.
That's the oil reservoir.
That part of the crankcase.
And this is what it looks
How would
like.
he know that it's a? How would you know it's a 1010? That it's a 1010 crankcase. How you know it's not an SP81?
The only way you would figure that out is because of that bearing and the JB weld right there.
Well, what else was not matching up?
The crankcase, the swing for the connecting rod.
Yeah.
When the connecting rod and piston would be on its bottom stroke, it would be hitting the bottom of the crankcase.
So you had to use.
So we had to use a 610 crankshaft, which was the journal and everything was the same size as the 1010s.
Right.
So when we did that,
it made the clearance you needed.
Yes, it made the clearance.
Okay. And then what else is different? What else did you run into as far as the
Up here, this 1010 crankcase, what we had to do to it. So this is your oil pump right here, and this part is where the anti-vibe and gas tank screws to. So we had to drill a hole right in the middle of that, right in the middle of this circle. And when we drilled a hole straight through it, we screwed this part of the gas tank and anti-vibe right into it, put the nut on the bottom of it, and then we had to JB weld that hole shut because that goes all the way through.
Right. All right, what else? The handlebar? What did we run to with the handlebar?
We had to tap this hole right there. We had to tap that so that...
Show them the difference between the SP81s and the 1010s.
Okay. SP81 side-by-side difference. Overall difference. Everything is the same. Everything looks the same except for
that right there.
This right here, and it really wasn't a noticeable difference, but the oiler side of things. See this circle here that I was talking about?
Yep.
That's where we had to drill it right in the middle of that.
That's right.
At first we thought it would be at the edge, but no, it was right in the middle. So that left us to believe that.
Hey.
Yep.
Good job. And what kind of clutch is it getting? A 610 clutch?
610 clutch.
Cause of what?
Because the 610 crankshaft is keyed.
Right.
Second off, we don't have the SP81 clutch.
Right.
Third of all, well, I don't really know unless you know.
That's the only reason is because it's the key.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll start it up. I can start it up right now.
Well, you think it'll start?
Yeah.
Well, let's go see if it'll start.
I know it will.